we have already made videos comparing the sizes of Fortnite's most iconic bosses just to find out which one is the biggest. But that did leave me wondering, which event boss in Fortnite is the most powerful? We are analyzing each event boss in Fortnite from their weapons, skills, and power just to find out which boss in Fortnite's history is the most powerful. The giant mothership UFO versus Galactus. Oh boy, we're starting off with a big one. Galactus versus the giant mothership UFO in our game. They got into a fight. Who would win? Both of these bosses were in our Fortnite Season 2 game. And in fact, they're actually some of the biggest bosses to ever exist in Fortnite. Of course, we found this out in a size comparison video that these were two of the biggest events to ever come to our Fortnite game. But for us to find out which one is the most powerful if they were to go head-to-head in combat, well, we can't test it out in-game because obviously, you know, Galactus and the mothership aren't in the game. So we're gonna have to figure this out another way. Giant mothership UFO was in our Season 7 and Season 8 Fortnite game. The mothership UFO traveled around our Fortnite island and was slowly abducting locations in our game. The mothership UFO itself didn't seem to have many abilities, but what we did know was inside the giant mothership UFO was a ton of smaller UFOs and presumably some pretty crazy alien weapons. But comparing this to the might of Galactus, Galactus is huge. In fact, significantly bigger than the giant UFO in our game. Galactus himself came to our Fortnite island in season 4? Question mark? Galactus arrived to our island using some kind of power coming from his hands. He managed to lift up the 0 points from within our Fortnite island. Not only this, we saw Galactus actually use his fists, in which he would backhand the giant airship that was in our game at the time. Yo, and that boy got destroyed, bro. Hey, there was no fight there. Hey, bro, there was no chance there. Not only this, if you actually look online, Galactus has a bunch of powers. Galactus can use energy projection, the ability to change his size, telepathy, telekinesis, teleporting, transmuting matter, force fields, and the creation, manipulation, and resurrection of life. Oh, did like what I did to that guy right there, hey, except creation and resurrection is the destruction of life. Out of here, nerd. Let's not get distracted. Galactus is overpowered. And it would seem by pretty much all measures, Galactus is literally unstoppable. But if the giant mothership UFO and Galactus came head-to-head in an epic showdown, and if we were trying to find out who would win, well, we would have to look at it like this. The giant mothership UFO literally has very little weaponry. It has the ability to abduct, and we know it has the ability to spawn smaller UFOs. But we've already seen what Galactus can do with giant floating vehicles. If Galactus can do this, the airship in our Fortnite game in Season 4, then who knows what he could do with his hands when facing the mothership. It would also seem possible that Galactus could probably laser beam the mothership down almost entirely, as he was able to rip the 0 points out of the ground, and we've already said he knows how to do energy projectiles. If Galactus and the giant mothership UFO went head-to-head in our Fortnite game, I don't think anybody would disagree with Galactus being the size that he is, literally multiple sizes bigger than the giant mothership UFO. And with all these abilities that we just spoke about, Galactus would have no trouble taking down the giant mothership UFO in our Fortnite game. Oh snap, I think I just walked into the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh, oh come on, man. You're right, let's not get sidetracked. Okay, no thank you, no thanks. Let's take a step away from Galactus and compare to other iconic bosses just to see who would win. The giant devourer versus the robots 2.0. In the battle between the giant robots and the giant monster all the way back in our season 9 of Chapter 1 Fortnite game. So why would we want to compare these two once again? Well, what if they actually fought on our Fortnite Chapter 3 islands today? Who would win? Back in Season 9 of Chapter 1, Polar Big Monster entered our Fortnite game, and a giant robot was built to try and combat the beast. The showdown was epic, but eventually the giant robots conjured the power of the 0 point and actually took down the giant beast. And what if this fight happened on Chapter 3? There is no 0 point on our island, at least that we've not found. And of course, there is no Neo tilted with the giant sword utilized by the giant robots. So how would the fight turn out? Analyzing the fights between the giant robots and the monster, players guys will notice that the giant monster actually destroys the robots. Throughout most of the fights, the giant monster actually gets the upper hand on the robots, tearing them apart, literally limb from limb. The only way the giant robot was strong enough to survive was with the power of the 0 points. The 0 points literally being missing on our Chapter 3 islands. We don't really know where it is. It probably would be safe to assume if this battle went down again, if the devourer and the giant robot had a showdown number 2 on our Chapter 3 islands, the robots probably would not stand a chance, and the monster would prevail. Know that the giant monster is actually bigger than the robots, and although the giant robot does have missiles, it doesn't seem to damage or impact the beast very much. Giant robots was only able to find powerful enough weapons that were outside the robot's capability, but the monster himself was able to use his giant claws and that terrifying mouth to tear apart his robotic opponent. With the monster being bigger, stronger, and with some historical evidence that it is more powerful, I think it's fair to say that if this battle was to happen again on our Chapter 3 island, we would have to give it to the giant monster. That's right, the monster. So, who would really win? Well, it would seem the giant monster is more powerful. Hey, I already know there's gonna be a bunch of comments in the comment section saying, hey, Max, are you dumb? I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna disagree with some of this, but hey, we're gonna get to the bottom of it one way or another. Damn, son, I'm about to win this game. But just before I do, who would win between Dr. Sloane and the Foundation? Oh, sorry, sucker. Well, it's actually pretty hard to say. Dr. Sloane has been on our game now for quite some time, all the way since Chapter 2. And the Foundation has only really been in our Fortnite game since the last season. We know Dr. Sloane has many secret weapons that she can use to her advantage. She can duplicate herself multiple times. She has legendary weapons. She can literally disable all building in our Fortnite game. Hey, the list goes on. Arguably, Sloane even herself destroyed the mothership UFO. So it would seem that she has quite some power. Foundation, on the other hand, we know very little about, but we do know the Foundation was able to hold together the 0 points when it was falling apart. The Foundation survived underwater for a countless amount of time, and actually overall the Foundation keeps surviving. It's almost like he can't die. But what if these two went head to head in an epic fight? Who would win? Oh, see, I'm telling you, I'm about to win this game, but I'm about to win this game hard. But who would win? Sorry. Well, I would say it's too early to say. Foundation for sure will have secret powers which none of us know about. And Dr. Sloane the whole time is developing new machinery in her war against the Seven. I think it's fair to say both of these characters are not immortal, so it would only take 1 or 2 slip-ups before we find out who the real champ is. So, who would win? Well, too early to say. I don't want to call it. I'm scared I'm gonna get roasted in the comment section, and I'm even more scared that this Brutus is about to roast me in game, so yo, about to wrap up the greatest game of my life. Get ready for that victory royale, boy. Oh, okay, fine. I don't care anymore. I literally don't care, trust me. Support the creator code on screen right now, guys, if you want to support the channel. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna like the one that's on screen right now. Guys, apart from that, I'm gonna catch you all in the next crazy Season 2 Fortnite video. Thanks a bunch, guys. Peace.